Ever wonder if Central America has water parks? Well, I'm going to show you all about what a Central American water park is like. And I'm even going to give you a review of the first aid department, unfortunately. When you first enter the park, you get your tickets here at just $5 a person. And after a quick bag check, you're in. So for this video, we are going to show you where the locals go when they want to go and play and have a local El Salvadorian water park. This is Termos del Río, or the thermal rivers, or the hot river, I guess you could say. And it's at Ciudad de Arce. So let's go check it out. After you enter Termos del Río, they have the water park and they have a great big wave pool, and then they'll have the splash pads and the splash area for the little kids. And then once you get past there, you actually get to the real hot springs. And I've been to lots of hot springs out in Idaho and Utah and Yellowstone, but I have to say, this place is really nice. And they have done an excellent job with the hot springs here. There's a bridge that divides 1/3 of the spring from the other 2/3 of the spring. And it's only about 4 feet deep all the way across the spring. There isn't like a deep rocky part where you can swim down to where the spring actually comes out of the earth. But there are lifeguards all over the park, and there's also security all over the park. So nothing to really worry about. Okay, check this out. Okay, this is kind of funny. It's not, the water is lukewarm, so it's kind of like getting in like bath water, like warm bath water. And the air is kind of hot too, so it's good to be wet, but there isn't that much of a difference. Maybe I need to come in like winter time when it's cooler, but this water feels amazing. It's totally a natural spring. It's a natural spring, so it's all fresh. There's no salt, there's no chlorine. It's awesome. It's nice and calentita and warm. And the ground is sand. Let me see. It's not really fine sand. Let me see if I'm dusting it. So there's nothing sharp. The rocks aren't sharp or anything. It's a good little mix. And it goes all the way from there, and then under the bridge. Oh, ¿puedes sacar una foto de su bebé? Hola, chiquitita. Oh, sí, le gusta. Sí, lo hizo también. Okay, that's good. This is really fun. And I'm meeting lots of cool people. Something you need to know about Salvadorians, especially if you're a gringo. Like there, I was on the other side, and these girls just started talking to me. They're just like, hey, you're not from here, where are you from? And that's one thing I love about El Salvador and the people here, they're really humble and they're very straightforward. And you don't have to be offended, you don't have to be on guard or worried. You just strike up a conversation with anybody. That's why everyone should come visit El Salvador. They have all these little minnows in the water that kind of chomp on you, and they're eating like the dead skin off. And the first time, and this, nobody does this in the U.S., but the first time I experienced this was in Greece. They actually have little fish spas where you can stick your feet in the water, and they have 10 million little minnows that come and kind of just tickle, and they eat all the dead skin off of your feet and your ankles and legs. That wasn't new, but I didn't realize that fish in thermal springs is super common, because these guys aren't the tiny minnows. They're like this big. So it's still just a tickle. It doesn't hurt, but it can get worse apparently, because these are our friends from Hungary, and Hungary has a ton of thermal springs.
Hello! So in my country, in Hungary, we have a very big thermal lake, and we also have this kind of fish, but they are a little bit bigger than these ones here, and they are biting much bigger, and it really hurts. You are swimming and you feel that something is eating your leg. So yeah, this is not new for me, but this is not that bad like in my country.
And when you actually get out of the water, like your legs will actually have...
Oh yes, and you see the small red dots in your leg where the fish is like bited you.
Man, and yet you still go in.
Sure, of course, because that water is much more hot like this.
Yeah, it's more hot.
So this is so like that.
In the winter, you can even like swim inside because it doesn't get frozen, even if it's like minus 10 degrees.
Oh wow!
So it's really nice.
So you just suck it up, and you know, yeah, the fish are gonna bite the heck out of me, and I'm gonna come out with lots of red scars.
So usually
but it's worth it.
Usually what you see, foreigners are swimming, and every 5 minutes they're like, ouch, ouch. They're like this.
So buck up and be tough, and swim like a local, and don't react when you're getting pinched and bitten underneath in a thermal spring.
And one of the best parts of El Salvador is the prices. Look at that, $2 for paintball and only $1 for horseback riding. You can't get horseback riding for less than $60 in the States. All the lifeguards go to lunch for an hour and a half.
And this is a minuta, and it's just shaved ice, and then they put the syrup on top. And they can put sweetened condensed milk on it too, sometimes, and they'll put some fruit on it too. So after he puts the fruit syrup on it, he's putting tamarindo miel, or tamarindo honey on top. You can put fruit on top of that.
Oh, it's forbidden. Alright, let's see. Ooh, really sweet. I like it.
So that's the zapote, and then it just puts in some milk and some ice. I don't know, he's got it. Okay. That's an efficient smoothie. He puts the top on and then fills it up even more. So at the water park, they have typical Salvadorian food. And this is what typical Salvadorian food is. Number one, this is yuca. They have fried yuca, but then they put all these toppings on fruit. And remember all those little fish that were eating your legs? It's revenge time. And the eyes are still on there. No, this is actually little dried sardines. I really don't think they harvest these from the spring, but still. They have dried sardines, and then they have salsas and tomatoes and cabbage and tons of crazy stuff on here, on the yuca. So, try a bite, a non-fish bite. I'm not a big fish fan. That's good. The next thing, this is called a plantain boat. It's a plantain, so they fry up the plantain and then they cut it right down the middle and they fill it up with cream. Yum stuff. And the last thing here is a torreja. And what it is, it's like a French toast, where they use a whole bunch more egg. They use a lot more egg than they would milk or anything else. So it's a toast that's super saturated in egg and then deep fried, and then they put cane syrup. Oh, they drench it in cane syrup. And then this is chilate. And they give you the chilate to kind of balance out your sugar comatose that happens from the cane syrup. And all it is like a really warm corn drink. There's no sugar in it, there's no salt in it, it's just ground up corn in the drink form. Oh,
After lunch, the lifeguards came back and the slides were back on. It's not exactly Wet n Wild or Adventure Island, but they have a zip line for $1. That's saying something. This slide was so big that you had to have a t-shirt to go down it. And a really nice guy, typical Salvadoranian, offered for us gringos to borrow his shirt. Second slide was much better. No t-shirt required, no wedgie given, and no water up the nose. If you'd like to create your own perfect El Salvador experience, check out my website at jennransat.com.
Termos del Río gets a 10 out of 10 for me.
The floats are free to use, and the wave pool's kind of weird in that the waves go side to side instead of from the back to the front. In true perfect chaos form, you can't plan everything. So, make sure you're always careful when running around water.
I'm even going to give a review on the first aid station in Termos del Río. I'll tell you if they take good care of me or not.
The head lifeguard came, cleaned me up, and got me all ready to go back home. Professional care all around. I have to say, I was definitely surprised, but that's perfect chaos. Travel more, live more, be more.
I've had 7 kids. You think this is tough? No.